And we're back. Okay, this is DTM, everybody. How we doing today? Starting up the surface. See what happens. I don't see it. Yep, I think I see it. What happened? Let's get your start up. And I want to talk a moment about the power of negotiation in the art business career. And the art of negotiation is really like an art form in itself. And I just want to jump on and talk about it for a little bit. It won't be long. It's not going to be a long video. Thank you for everybody who joined me yesterday and was here when I was talking about the creative process for a logo. But what I want to cover right now is negotiation and how that helps the artist succeed. I have another video that I'm going to post shortly where I talked about the portfolio and the value proposition for artists. But as part of the art business career for any artist is also the power of negotiation. If you do not know how to negotiate what your rate is, then it's going to be difficult for you to earn the money that you want. Not only that, negotiation is determines your money, but also your position as an artist, whether you get the kind of clientele you want or you don't. I was thinking about this because the other day I was at the Auburn Research Library. Was it yesterday? With watching. Was it yesterday? I forget what day it was. It might have been yesterday. At with watching Brian McGee and Dawood Anyabili talk about their career and their art. And somebody in the crowd asked, "How much do you charge? What's the rate for an artist who does storyboarding?" And this is a loaded question because not every artist charges the same. Not every artist does the same work, and not every artist is on the same level of their talent. Not every artist has the same level of projects under their belt, and then some artists are faster than others, and so on. So you have to take a lot of things into consideration when asking that question of how much do you charge. But the real issue is, well, how much can you negotiate for? And that's a saying that goes something like, you don't get paid what you're worth, you get paid what you negotiate for. And so that power of negotiation is very important, to the point where you have to pick up and learn some of those techniques from experienced artists. So if you don't know how to negotiate for yourself, then you need a mentor, you need another artist to work with to get an idea on how to negotiate for yourself. All right, so here's an example. We got several artists who have maybe the same talent. So let's say these artists have the same talent. A couple artists have the right portfolio. Maybe a couple artists have the right background in terms of projects they've worked on. But only one artist knows how to negotiate their rate. And then this is where you start to succeed and get paid what you're worth. The negotiation process is a lot of give and take. It may be it may deal with how you communicate with your clients. How well are you able to put together a quote? And how well can you express the value that you bring with your services? I like to do a lot of artwork for clients where I don't have to sit there and they don't have to watch me finish the work. I can do it from right here in my home office. Well, that's a value that I give my clients, where they know that I can produce the work without anybody's supervision. I don't need anyone to hold my hand to know exactly how to produce the work that they want. And that is as part of my negotiation, is that I can work on site if you like, but there's a rate for that, and then there's a different rate if I just go ahead and you let me knock out the project. Negotiation is nothing but a communication between two people going back and forth. You got a person here, the client, and then you have the artist, and then agreeing to the terms of what we're going to produce for a certain amount of money. And if you know what your worth is, you know what your value is, and you know what your client can afford or what level they should be in, then you can get the money you deserve. And so the question is, well, how much do you charge? Let's say for some storyboard art, or how much do you charge for a logo, or how much do you charge for a illustration for apparel and so on. Well, first you have to think about how much talent, what level of talent you're in, what type of portfolio you have to support a particular rate, and then what can you say your prior projects are to then raise that rate a little bit higher, and then who are you talking to in negotiating this rate, so then you can start making a higher number of money. And so in the beginning, every artist is gonna make mistakes and work for free or cheap. And so you may have one rate when you're starting out. And but as you start working with higher level brands or more clientele, and you're able to add things to your portfolio, and people can see the quality of your work, then you start raising your price. And if you can get people to pay you a higher price, then you're in the right place. If after a certain amount of period of several projects, you can say, well, I need to raise that price a little bit higher. And then if you get people to pay that price, then you're in the right place. And it's all about building up little by little. What you don't want to do is charge less than minimum wage, because then you're really doing yourself a disservice. And not only are you doing yourself a disservice as an artist, you're doing a disservice to the whole industry, community of art, in that now people start thinking that an artist should be able to work for whatever rate. And that's where that whole mentality of the starving artist comes into play, where somehow it's been romanticized that to be a good artist, you have to starve yourself and invest all your money into your art and not ask for any money in return. That's crazy. That is nuts. So you negotiate, right? So first think about the base amount of money that you need to make. And I would say, let's go as an example for $10 an hour, just so that we know this is our baseline. This, at no less should anybody work for this, because you can get a job working in the stockroom in Kroger and make minimum wage. You can work at a fast food restaurant and make minimum wage. So that's your basics. But then you start taking in consideration, well, have I worked on my CV? Do I have brands in my portfolio? Or do I even have a portfolio? Can I explain my process? Can I show my work that I've done in the past and package it in a way to show the client that I have value? And if I can, then that raises me up, let's pretend, between 15 to 20 an hour. I should be at this level as an artist. But then the more you work and the more you make, you take on projects that you figure out, well, a logo really took me 10 hours, or it took me 20 hours or something like that, and you start realizing what your process involves, then you start checking out your value plus your times your process gives you the rate in which you should be working in. All this comes with experience, and it helps if you have a different artist to work with, an artist or a firm, a company, a collaboration, and a more experienced artist. You through that experience and collaboration, then you start realizing where you are in this level and what can you charge, and what you should charge. And it helps to be in a community of other artists, which brings into the other part that I wanted to mention. Let me get rid of that. Is that you have to leave the house. You have to leave the house. You have to leave your workspace and get out into your community of artists and engage and know who they are. There's a lot of meetups. There's a lot of organizations that are working with artists so we can all start charging what we're worth. Start charging what we know we deserve, and not just for the individual artist, for one person, what they're worth, but then that also plays out for all the rest of us. Because what happens right now is that you'll come across a client. All right, there's a client, and they're talking about their big project, what they want, blah, 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 this and that and the other. And then you tell their client, oh, that's awesome. That'll be such and such. How much? And what they do is they say, oh, well, I need to find somebody else who will do it for less. I want to just pay this much. And then they go find an actual artist who will do that. They may not get that whole volume of work or quality they're looking for from a different artist, but they'll find somebody who will work. They'll find somebody who will work for that price. And then as a whole, we all artists as a whole, we have different artists working for different rates, and people believe they can take advantage of artists and find the ones who will work for nothing, and that's where the starving artist comes into play. And then people will get what they want out of the artist and move on. Whereas if we start focusing on the true value and the true process and the true pricing of things, and we stick to that, when a client comes looking for to do a particular project, we quote them a price. They come and see you quote them the same price. Somebody else comes along, they quote them the same price. Then the client has no choice but to pay that price to get their project moving forward. And then the whole, as an industry as a whole, continues to thrive and continues to grow. And that's what we call thriving artists. What's up to John Quill? How you doing? You're making it happen. That's right. Get your weight up. And Tremaine says, remind people about doing work for friends. And let's talk about that for a second. Sure. I'm displaying the genius. Word up, Joe. How you doing? So this is what we're after, right? Through the power of negotiation and by showing our work, showing our process, having a portfolio, you can move into the thriving artist mentality and lifestyle as an artist. So Tremaine says, remind people about doing work for friends. And that's where we all start. All artists start in the same place. All artists start with doing work for their friends, their family, their mom, their uncles, their cousins, etc. Your first art supporters are going to be people in your close circle. In your very immediate circle, right? Very immediate. And that's okay. And it may be free. But see, if you're going to work for free in the beginning, you need to turn out quality work. And this quality work then becomes part of your portfolio. And as this portfolio grows, so does the reach of the people who you are trying to be in business with. Now it's not just friends and family. Now that you have a portfolio, now it's time to start finding clients. In which case, these clients are now going to be paying. So that was free, right here, free, $0. These clients are going to have to pay a little bit. And as your portfolio grows and your presence online, social media, your CV, your process, and what did I say? Your portfolio, quality of your work and so on increases, so does the number of clients. Now you got bigger clients, clients with capital CLIENTS, and more money. So you have to you have to go from, you have to have a growth. There has to be an arrow going up. You start with 0. You start with friends, and then you start moving up to clients. You may be so now you're moving into a little bit of you're increasing your rate at least minimum wage, right? So we're at minimum wage, and we have clients, so we're here. So we should go from 0 to this to now larger clients and more money. So bam, start moving up and keep moving that arrow up. What we don't want to do is go up and down, up and down, up and down, because we're chasing people, we're chasing money, we're chasing clients, and people keep mistreating you and not giving you what you're worth. So, in a nutshell, what did I say? Negotiation. Learn to negotiate. Negotiation. That's a long word with a lot of I's and T's. Is it TIA? TIO. Negotiation. Learn that power. If you don't know how, you need to come around or meetups and organizations where there are other artists and they share their tactics, they share their knowledge, they share their advice. So, of course, Artist King. We have free meetups once a month at General Assembly. Is the second Saturday of the month. This month coming up, we're going to talk about social medias for artists and how do you use it to get more clients. Then check out also My Animation Life. They are on Facebook also, so check them out. They have free meetups and they discuss the business. And then, of course, Asifa, starting to have a lot of panel discussions. Asifa South and C4 Atlanta. The information is out there. There are many people like us who are interested in educating the artists, educating the art community, so we can all build together, we can all succeed together, and get rid of this starving artist mentality. Say no to the starving artist. Forget that. It's time to move on. All right, this is DTM, and I'm gonna check the see who else got questions. Value with insight. Yep, that was your next question. Negotiation. Yes. Thank you all for tuning in. We need to learn from other artists. You need to have mentors or other artists that you talk to in order to ask the questions about how to follow through with your art career and become a thriving artist. Learn the power of negotiation. All right? DTM. Talk to y'all later.